Hi and welcome in this video. Today I talk about the best beginner camera on a budget under 500 euro or dollar roundabout. Maybe you've seen my video already where I talked about which camera I would buy in 2018 if I lose my own camera, if it gets damaged or stolen or anything. And a lot of people ask, can you make a video as well about which camera to buy on a budget? Because I talked about cameras in price range about $3,500, euro and stuff. So a bit cheaper. And then I said, okay, let's have a look. And that's why I made this video now. Well, I make this video about 500 euro. And 500 euro is a lot for a lot of people, but it's not much for a camera. So it's quite difficult to find a good camera. What I looked for is a camera which is quite up to date, not too old, because you can buy for 500 euro like a 10-year-old camera, but then it's not with the, let's say, new features, and maybe some video stuff is not up to date. So I looked for not too old cameras, but still on a budget, which I would consider as well, and which I could recommend to a friend who's asking me which camera should I buy as a beginner. So let's start. I have 4 cameras for you, and the first camera I want to talk about, it's my favorite camera, A6000. I always recommend it, and let's see how it stands up against all the other cameras I have here for you. So A6000 cost 418 euro without a lens. It's mirrorless. It has a 24 megapixel full HD video quality with 50 frames. It only weighs 285 gram. It has Wi-Fi. 11 frames per second continuous shooting. So when you want to photograph sport or anything, you have 11 images. It has hybrid autofocus system with 25 contrast detect and 179 phase detect points, whatever that means. A lot of points, a lot of focus points. You can get a lot of focus with that. And it goes till ISO 25600. So quite amazing to read for only 418 euro. So that's quite cool. Next one is the Canon 200D. It costs 518 euros, so it's a bit over budget, but I say, okay, 20 euros, so maybe you can just save some money for like 2 weeks, and then each week like 10 euro, and then you can buy it. Or maybe it's cheaper in some other, like on eBay or something. It's without a lens. It has a tiltable screen, and that is quite amazing, and that's what I loved about the 600D I photographed a lot of times with. So you can actually flip the screen, not only like this with the A6000, but all the way around. And that is amazing when you want to film yourself, like in a vlog situation, or you're just making YouTube videos and you want to see what you're actually filming yourself. And then it's quite cool to flip the screen. It has 24 megapixels. It weighs 453 gram. So almost 200 gram more than the A6000. It has Wi-Fi. It has Bluetooth. It has only 5 images per second continuous shooting, so 6 images less than the A6000, so not quite good for sport. It has 50 frames per second full HD. It has an external mic jack, which means you can attach a microphone in the camera. The A6000 does not have that, but you can adjust or attach like a microphone in that hot shoe here. And there are contacts in the front, and with that you can actually record sound with an external mic, but you need a special Sony mic for that. So yeah, it's a kind of a disadvantage, so the Canon 200D has it. It has 9-point autofocus and a touchscreen, which is also cool because you can adjust the focus, and when you now think again of maybe a vlog situation, you focus or you film yourself and you want to focus yourself, then you can do it with a touch screen, which is also pretty cool. And ISO also 25600, so almost the same or exactly the same like the A6000. The next camera is the Nikon D3400. It is the cheapest camera in all the cameras I will show you. It only costs 409 euro without a lens. It is an APS-C camera as well, like the other 2 cameras. cameras. It has 24 megapixels, 5 images per second continuous shooting, just like the 200D, and 6 less than the A6000. It goes up till ISO 25600. It weighs 445 grams, a bit lightweighter than the Canon and heavier than the A6000. It has a fixed screen, so you cannot even do it like this. You can just do like nothing, it's fixed. So that's a bit of a disadvantage, I would say. It has 11-point autofocus, more than the Canon, but less than the Sony. It has Bluetooth only, HD 50 frames per second, and it has no external mic jack as well, and you cannot attach, as far as I know, like a hot shoe microphone like with the Sony or something, so you cannot just put any external mic in that. What I think from today's perspective, maybe you have the camera and you know something else, then write it in the comments. That would help and everybody in this video. The last camera is the Panasonic Lumix DMC GX80. It costs 503 euro. It's in the budget, without lens. It has only 16 megapixel. It's mirrorless, so the Nikon is not mirrorless, it's a DSLR. The Canon is a DSLR, the Sony is as well a mirrorless. It has a micro four thirds sensor, which means the sensor is smaller than the APS-C sensor, and that actually means that you don't get that much of a blurry background. You have more crop factor, and when you are really into portrait with a very smooth bokeh background, then it's harder to achieve with a micro four thirds lens or camera. It's not impossible, but it's harder, it's more difficult, and the sensor is smaller. So it goes from ISO 200, so not 100, 200 till 25,000. I would say it's okay. It might be a disadvantage for people who like to shoot with ND filters, long exposure, because you have to use a stronger ND filter then, but it's not too much of an issue. It weighs 426 grams, which is heavy for a mirrorless camera, but I know why it weighs that much, because it has 4K video with 30 frames, which is amazing for 500 euro. It has a 5-axis image stabilization, which is amazing as well for a 500 euro camera. Compared to the Sony, you get it with a 6300, and that costs 950 or 999 euro, so almost double the price of the Panasonic. You have Wi-Fi, you have 49-point CDAF focus system, whatever that means. It has 6 frames per second continuous shooting and no mic jack as well, which is quite of a disadvantage because, yeah, it's a great video camera, but no mic jack, so you cannot attach an external mic. But maybe there's some solution like with the Sony. Write it in the comments below if you have that camera or know that. And it has a touchscreen, which I like as well a lot. So I would say, when I compare all those cameras together, for the purpose I shoot, so let's say landscape and video, and I am a beginner right now, let's say that, and then I would consider the A6000, because it's cheap, it costs 418 euro, so it's almost the cheapest camera of all those cameras I talked about, but it has like almost in every situation an advantage against the other cameras. It has more autofocus points, so very good for focusing. It has 11 frames per second continuous, which is great for sport and stuff. It's very lightweight, it's very small, and it's cheap. So that's quite cool. But when I would only film and be more interested in filming, then I would look for the Panasonic, because it has 4K and the stabilization thing inside the camera for only 500 euro, which is amazing. And if I'm more into vlogging, then I would consider maybe the 200D, because it has the flip screen, which is amazing and cool. It has an external mic jack, which is cool. It has 50 frames per second full HD, so that's enough for vlogging. And the Nikon, I would consider it if I'm very low on a budget and want a DSLR camera, no mirrorless camera, for example. But yeah, the Nikon is... It's a good camera, I would say, but compared to all those other 3 cameras, it's just not really rocking, I would say. But that's just my opinion. What is your opinion? What of the cameras would you be most interested in if you were a beginner today? Or maybe if you are a beginner today, then just write it in the comments below. And what is amazing, because I get the question like every day, which camera should I buy? We just built on learnfromben.com the Jaworskyj camera Biomat. And that means you just go there and you have then the website, and then you see how much money do you want to spend? 500 or around 1,000 or around 3,000 euros? So what is your budget? Then you just click on the different buttons, and then you will be asked, okay, what are you interested in landscape, in sport, in more of portrait, in filming? And then you just click it, and then you get asked again, and what are you also be interested? And then you say, okay, I'm also interested maybe in whatever. You click it, and then it says, okay, those 4 cameras are just perfect for you. So just make the test yourself. When you have the 500 euro budget, you'll see the same cameras I just talked about, but maybe some other cameras in the different interests. So it's quite amazing. It was a bit of work, but I think it's amazing, and I can just send anybody who's interested in buying a new camera that camera Biomat, and you can just make it yourself. So just go and learnfromben.com. I will put the link in the description as well, in the comments, and maybe it's somewhere here in the video as well. And you just hit the different things, try it out for yourself, and see what camera you should look at. And when you have a friend or somebody who wants to buy a new camera, just send him the link or the link to this video. And I think it's quite cool to just compare different cameras with each other, and just to know what cameras are cool today. And we try to update that camera Biomat as well in the future. And if you have any suggestions or cameras I forgot maybe, then just write it in the comments below as well. All right, see you on the next video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit thumbs up, and we see us in the next video. Bye bye.